Thursday night weather video update. We've got a lot of rain out there today across the Northeast, some steadier rain for the Mid-Atlantic, also pop-up showers across a lot of New England due to the instability that we've got out there. That's going to play a critical role in the forecast as we go through time. Before we get to the forecast, let's take a look at the big picture here, and you can see how we have a little bit of a storm that's moving through the Northeast right now, some low pressure, again associated with that rain in the Mid-Atlantic. We've also got a new low pressure forming out in the Midwest, and that's going to hook up with a front, and it's going to start sucking in some cold air from Canada, and it's going to be coming tomorrow's main weather maker, and tomorrow is going to be a very difficult, tough forecast. Before we get to the hard part of the forecast, which is most of the forecast, let's take a look at the easy part for you first. Temperature-wise, we should be in the 60s on the south and east side of the front, and we should be in the 50s on the north and west side. Now let's take a look at the precipitation forecast for every 6 hours of the day. I'll start you off at the beginning. There's that low pressure system across northern New England. As the cold air pushes on it, the high pressure across Hudson Bay, it's going to start drifting south across New England. Once it gets closer to the ocean, it's going to pull in moisture, which will allow for some rain to start falling out there, mostly on the south and east side across eastern New England. But by the nighttime hours, it's going to get heavier and heavier, and, well, not too heavy, and could affect most of New England as the system moves north and east. Let's take a look at this in detail for you, and you can see to start off the day, Thursday, we are nice mostly. A couple showers out there, a couple pop-up showers and storms. But as we go through the day, the storm's going to move in. It's going to begin sucking in moisture from the Atlantic and this other storm offshore that's currently moving through the Mid-Atlantic. That's going to raise the humidity, the relative humidity and the dew points across eastern New England, which will make it rain more, and you can see the rain is overspreading those areas during the nighttime hours of Thursday and in the evening and afternoon hours of Thursday. How much precipitation are we expecting out of this? Not a lot. It's not necessarily a non-event because it could affect you, but really, I mean, looking at this, let's see. You do see a couple spots showing up of precipitation, but that's mostly where the model thinks that you could see some thunderstorms. Everywhere else, the blue, almost nothing. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to Friday's forecast. And we're actually going to be doing pretty well. Temperatures will be relatively high compared to what you would expect on average for a Friday, because we're going to have that mid-Atlantic storm offshore, and we're going to have the one that just came from New England on Thursday. So that's going to allow for some pretty strong north winds. Not too strong, but strong enough, associated with also some easterly high pressure flow to pull in north winds, which means it's a cooling wind, which means that southern New England should be in the upper 50s and 60s, with everybody else in the 40s. So really not that nice of a day to get out there, although if you can, it shouldn't be raining or anything. Now Saturday's looking pretty nice. We're going to have a really nice wealth of heat well south and west of New England, but still going to have that high pressure gradient flow, which is going to keep us still down in the 50s and 60s, but that's pretty nice, I gotta say. Okay, it's model time. Let's take a look at the Long Ranger on the GFS model. Let's take you out to beyond 3 days. Here's day 4. Storm is headed offshore, and we're getting a new storm forming in the Ohio Valley. Yes, in case you don't know, I do realize I just rhymed right there. That is part of my charm. Okay, no harm. So here's the new storming in the Ohio Valley by 5 days out. Starts sucking in Gulf of Mexico moisture 5 days out. Guess what? That's bad. That means tornado outbreak 5 days out through the south. Could be the worst one this year. Definitely something to keep in mind, to keep an eye on. 6 days out. Oh boy. It starts moving across southern New England. Could be some heavy rain. Not worried about too much of a storm, so to speak, but just before a week out, definitely something. By the time this video gets uploaded on early Thursday morning, it should be about a week out, and just something to keep an eye on. 8 days out, another short wave passes through the Mid-Atlantic. Could actually mean a couple of flakes for parts of southern New England. We're going to see some cooler air now with a new trough coming in around 10 days out, and then the GFS completely goes out of its mind with Armageddon once again. We've seen this before. Okay, now before I let you go, one last product I want to show you. It is the Ensemble Means, which is I think like 21 or 50 or whatever Ensemble members, which are models, and they're all put together, so we don't get one model, and I think it puts out all the bad models. I hope it puts out all the bad models, but anyway, showing you what's essentially going on generally. The means in the upper atmosphere, and what you see is the green and blue, that's troughing. and then the orange and yellow, that's ridging. You go through the time, you can see how across all over so far springtime this year across New England has been cool air that does not want to let go from the winter, and then we get high pressure building to the south and east of us, big trough forms, and then we're in the 80s. It just happens over and over again. Looks like we're going to see that cycle continuing through late spring or mid to late spring. Here you can see that troughs just lift up and down the ridges, and it's just all part of the ever-rotating cycle of weather, and I will keep you updated on every rotation. See you guys later. It's Nick for the New England Weatherlife.ning.com. I leave you now with some, what kind of photos should I show you today? I'll show you, I'll show you some satellite photos. That'll be fun. See you guys later. It's Nick for the New England Weatherlife.ning.com.
You ready? Let's go!